Baron of Ravenshallow. Baron Ravenshallow was the richest man in the county. People admired his wealth. His family hated him. When the servants arrived outside his study at exactly 10 p.m., they found the door locked from the inside. No answer came when they knocked. After breaking the door down, they found the Baron slumped over his desk. A single candle still burned beside him. His untouched glass of whiskey rested near his hand. There was no sign of a struggle, no weapon, no forced entry. Only 5 people had been inside the manor that evening. His eldest son, Edward, whose gambling debts had become impossible to hide. His daughter, Clara, who had learned only hours earlier that her father intended to leave the family fortune to charity. His younger brother, Victor, who desperately needed money to save his failing business. The family's physician, Dr. Mercer, whose forged medical records the Baron had recently discovered. And the Baron's young wife, Eleanor, who everyone suspected had married him only for his fortune. Every one of them had a reason to want him dead. The detective spent the night questioning each suspect. Edward claimed he had been in the billiard room. "I remember hearing Father cough," he said. "Then I smelled one of his awful cigars drifting through the hallway." Clara nodded. "I smelled it too. I even closed my bedroom door because the smoke was so strong." Victor shrugged. The Baron loved those cigars. You could always tell where he was. Dr. Mercer smiled. "I warned him those things would kill him one day." Finally, Eleanor spoke. "I never left the drawing room." The detective asked nothing more. The next morning, he searched the study himself. Everything seemed ordinary. The whiskey hadn't been touched. The candle had burned halfway down. The windows were locked. The fireplace contained only cold ashes from the previous evening. On the Baron's desk sat an expensive cedar cigar box. Inside was a single cigar. Next to it lay a silver box of matches. The detective opened it. 19 matches. He quietly closed the lid. That evening, he gathered everyone back inside the study. "You've all been very helpful," he said, "and remarkably consistent." Everyone looked relieved. "You all remembered the cigar smoke." Edward nodded. "It was impossible to miss." "So did I," Clara agreed. Victor folded his arms. "The whole corridor smelled of it." Dr. Mercer laughed softly. "I've complained about those cigars for years." The detective picked up the cigar box. "The Baron was famous for one peculiar habit." No one answered. He never lit a cigar until after finishing his nightly whiskey. The detective lifted the untouched glass. "He never drank a drop." Silence. "So he never smoked that evening?" No one moved. The detective slowly opened the matchbox. There should be 20 matches. He turned it upside down. One was missing. He placed the empty hand back on the table. Then he looked around the room. If the Baron never lit a cigar, why did 4 of you remember smelling one? The room fell silent. No one spoke. The detective smiled. "Think very carefully. Someone wanted everyone in this house to believe the Baron was alive much later than he really was." He looked at each face. Someone burned a cigar after he was already dead. The detective closed the matchbox with a soft click. "And there's only one person in this room who needed the time of death to change." The candle flickered. The story ends before the detective says the name.